This educational video is about designing for accessibility. It also includes a new concept that I introduced, which is the 3C concept. Accessibility is an important part in every design process. It helps to democratize your app and it can make a huge difference for people with disabilities. Why should designs be accessible? A design should always be accessible because otherwise you will leave out a large fraction of people and don't provide equal access to all the users. About 15% of the world population is affected by some type of disability. This means over 1 million people are affected. Disability type number 1 is reading disability. Around 17% of the world has been affected by dyslexia, which makes it difficult for them to read unlike others. Next one is visual disability. Around 4.5% of the world suffers from color blindness or color vision deficiency. There are many types of visual disabilities and I will be talking about them in next few slides. The third one is cognitive disabilities. 10.8% of the world have been affected. And this is the difficulty with understanding the mental task that must be done. The next one is motor disabilities. 2 to 4% of the world population suffers a partial or a total loss of function of a body part such as Parkinson's. Last disability type is hearing disabilities. Over 5% of the world suffers from a hearing disability. The 3C concept. The 3 C's of accessibility is a concept that I have come up with that covers all the necessary accessibility issues with solutions on how a designer can overcome them. I hope this will be useful to you when you design user interfaces. The color contrast accessibility. We must make sure that the colors are accessible even for the ones with visual disabilities. Let me further explain this using a real-time designing examples. Here I am going to show you how to check the color accessibility using Stark plugin for Figma. It's also available for Adobe XD. So go to the plugins, then Stark. Now check contrast. So you can see a pop-up window like this. The two layers I used here have passed the criteria given. The text size used is 36. It falls under the large text category. When you click the question mark, you can get more information about it. You can see the color ratio here. Higher the ratio, better the contrast. Now close this window. Now I want to change the background color to black. And let's see the results using Stark plugin. Go to plugins, Stark, and check contrast. Okay, now you can see all the criteria have been passed. You can see the ratio is high. That means we have a better color contrast. But the original design is purple, so I'm going to change the display into the purple again. The next plugin that I'm going to show you is Color Oracle. The Color Oracle, you can download it free for Windows and Mac both. The Color Oracle shows you how your screen is visible to ones with the color deficiency. There are 3 main types of color deficiencies in the world. The first one is deuteranopia. It is also known as the green deficiency. The people with this find it difficult to identify the red from green. People with protanopia are insensitive to the color red. Tritoranopia is where people are insensitive to the color blue. You can also go to the whocanuse.com and enter your text color and the background color to get an idea on how it appears to the users with the color deficiencies. You can change the color using these sliders and get the results on right hand panel. So you can see, just like Color Oracle, all the deficiencies are listed down here. At the same time, note that this grading system is provided according to Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. The next is clickable area. It can be action buttons or input fields. This clickable area should be easy to access even for the users with deficiencies. I will explain few points under this. Focus states. The user must be able to navigate the elements on the user interface using the tab key on the keyboard. Hover effect. It would be better if you could apply the hover effects to all the clickable areas such as buttons and icons. This will make it easy, especially for users with cognitive disabilities. The pressed effect. It is always good to use the pressed effect so that users know exactly when they press the button. This is useful for users with cognitive disability. It makes it easy for them to confirm about the buttons they have pressed. Navigations. Under this, I like to mention about the step indication. It helps users to understand where they stand in the process. And it is also good to use fixed headers and fixed action button areas. When you provide labels and instructions, users with disabilities find it easy to use the relevant user interfaces. Third C is common content. I have considered about two areas on the common content, and they are typography and layout. The first one is optimizing typography. In here, I would like to discuss about 4 factors. The first one is alignment, always align left or right. The next one is line spacing, at least you have to include 1.5 times of the font size. The next one is paragraph spacing, at least you have to include 1.5 times of the line spacing. The other one is paragraph length, maximum would be 80 characters. It's always good to use shortcut keys on any type of interface. We must remember that design should be responsive for any device. Always pay attention to mobile, tab and desktop responsiveness. At last but not least, as designers, we must keep in mind that there are some important points to remember when designing for accessibility. I hope the 3C concept will be useful for your next project. I'm pretty sure that it will be a good guideline to meet the requirements of accessibility. Stay tuned with Bright UX for more user experience and user interface related videos.